there came a reprisal attack. Women, children, elderly men, among many, were killed. In total, 14 people were killed by the armed separatist fighters. Several others were injured. Houses were razed, properties looted and destroyed. And people are now struggling to justify the unjustifiable. One thing must be clear, that killing an unarmed civilian first is a crime against humanity. By this definition, what do we mean? If a military officer meets an armed fighter and the armed fighter decides to drop his arm and surrender, in that context, he becomes an unarmed civilian and cannot be killed because he has surrendered. And if a military officer, on the other hand, is caught by the armed fighter and the military officer put down his weapon and raises his hands up, that armed fighter has no right to kill the military officer. It is called crime, war crime. It is a crime according to the Geneva Convention. Now, to kill a civilian who has nothing as far as the war is concerned is very bad. And to go further, to kill women, children, and the elderly who has nothing to do in connection of the conflict is a crime against humanity and a war crime. That is, there is a war crime which you have committed, burning the place, looting, and now killing civilians, especially women and children. It's a crime against humanity. There is nothing to justify when the protector now is a terminator. How do you expect the people to collaborate with you? Many will come and justify, oh, it was because of this, oh, it was because of that. Under no condition should the separatist fighters killed an unarmed civilian, or talk less of a child. What crime did the 2-year-old, 4-year-old, the women sleeping in their houses, those frail commit, that it warranted you people to kill them? And people are coming with all kind of terrible justification that, oh, it is because this happened, oh, it is because the government has not resolved the conflict, oh, it is because BIA has not called for national dialogue, oh, it is because the dialogue has not been effective. There is no excuse. Whether effective or not, whether the dialogue was effective or not, doesn't warrant, necessitate the killing of unarmed civilians, women, children. And the sad reality, those justifying have never heard the barrel of a gun. They have never had their loved one killed, whether from the side of the military or the side of the boys, or the boys as it is fondly referred to. The truth of the matter here is the conflict of the Northwest and Southwest region. Many have been killed by not the military, by those who ought to protect them. Blacklegism is the order of the day. And that is why when you see in early 2018, the people used to say, our boys. The people will say our boys because the armed fighters were not targeting the civilians. And that's why there was civil and military cooperation between the armed fighters and the civilians in their respective community. And that is why you see it was difficult for the defense and security forces to destroy or to bring down a separatist camp. In the early 2020s, it was still our voices, where the people were calling them our voices. In the late 2021, kidnappings, blacklegism became the order of the day. People were being killed by just expressing a contrary opinion, which they should express. Now, it moved from our voices to the voices, to the boys. Because the people no longer identify with them due to the carnage and the killing of unarmed civilians. In every unarmed civilian that you kidnap, you have generated 15 enemies from their immediate family, friends, and cycle. Not to talk of those you kill. And it moved in the late 2022. It became worse, as people can no longer go to their villages for funerals. People cannot bury their loved ones without being asked to pay a certain amount of money. The people became frustrated and now saw the military as now the refuge. The one whom you had told the people were bad were now their savior. And now it became those voices or those people. And as time went on, now it has become worse. That's why you see there's no collaboration with the people and the armed fighters, and the people are removing themselves from the armed fighters because in stricto sensu, they don't see themselves representing that same ideology. And now people are calling them, some are saying, those terrorists. And that's why you see the population across some areas are finding instead peace with the military. Somebody once told me in Kwakwa that if he sees an armed fighter coming this way and he sees a military coming this way, he will run towards the side of the military, irrespective of what will happen, because the military have a sense of humility. Once we were told in early 2026, in early 2020, that, oh, the people who describe themselves as the voices or the boys were coming to protect the people of the Northwest and Southwest region. But now, how has the protector become the terminator? On a regular basis, people are being kidnapped and killed. You hear they will tell you, no, it is this person voice, it is not us, it is this one, it is this one. A lot of reasons and justification. People die. The Gidado massacre is something that even if you are heartless, you should condemn it with fortitude. Those children, those women merited not to die. We have talked about the Ntumbum massacre. We have talked about the Mother Francisca massacre in Fiango. 5 years on, justice is not yet served. How many more? This Valentine's Day will make another anniversary for the Ntumbum massacre. That is 6 years. And the sponsors and those agitating online will come and be calling us names. Oh, you people are this, you people are that. The truth remains the truth. You cannot kill your own people and expect support. In every family you kill someone, you have generated more black legs. You can only kill the teller and not the truth. The truth remains to haunt you. This is House of Commons with me, Tamai Jarvis. You're welcome from that break. If you are just joining us, you're watching House of Commons. Today we are talking about the Gidado massacre, which left more than 14 persons killed and several injured, houses looted. In the studio, we have been joined by Mr. Ya Emmanuel, who is here with us. Happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday, Mr. Davis. Happy Sunday to my brother. You know, he's coming from Yaoundé. It's been a nice time to meet you again. Happy Sunday to my dear listeners. Especially to the Noni community in Cameroon, especially those in Bamenda who are watching, and to those Hindu especially, because I have some my Noni people who are Hindu who are regretting the fact that in 2026 we are beginning the year with sad memories to live with. We have a lot of regrets to see that life has been brutally snatched from people who knows nothing, whose only crime is to be alive. This is despicable. This is something we need to condemn, not only condemn, but we need to collaborate and say it once and for all that this thing has to come to an end. Why are we terrorizing our own selves? We did not hear that those who Gidado are people, maybe are elements of Boko Haram. No. We did not hear that those people are our own brothers who have decided to attack us. I want to say a condolence to the bereaved families and those who are in the hospital, a quick recovery to them. we shall be coming back to discover more theories. Thank you.
And thank you very much. Also in the studio, we are joined by Nchimini Onuhu. Happy Sunday and thanks for joining us. He's a junior member of parliament, and those who have been trying to advocate for good governance, democracy, and to build a nation that will take the youth at the center and take care of the future of those who have been relegated behind the scene. Happy Sunday.
Thank you very much, Mr. Talman. It's always a pleasure to be here. And I really want to welcome my brother, Mr. Mark. Honorable himself. It's a pleasure meeting you again, bro. And thank you to our televiewers, home and abroad. It's always an honor to have you watch us here on my media point. I equally want to use the opportunity to extend my condolences to the bereaved family that were attacked in Ntumbum subdivision. We tender our sincere condolences to the family as we were going to proceed. Be our guest. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much also for those of you who are joining us here for the very first time. We want to appreciate you for coming. And we'll begin the program with you, Mr. Emmanuel. When you watched the Gidado incident, what came to your mind?
Thank you, Mr. Daman. This issue of Gidado has come to re-invoke the pains in what we termed, I don't know how to put it, but I think that it is more than a crime, because we cannot imagine when we ask our question, what did these people do? What was the crime and why were they killed? And I want to say it clean and clear. No matter what, nobody should be sympathetic with the action, because we have heard a lot of narrative people saying that the killings are going on because the national dialogue failed. The killings are going on because this one happened in 2017. The killings are going on because this one happened in 2017. We dare to ask our question: must someone die because someone was dead? Must we continue killing because someone was killed before? A lot of people brought up justifications saying that the Gidado killing is a consequence of what happened in 2017. In 2017, people were marching. The state in the process of maintenance of law and order, people lost their lives. And that did not give way for people to carry arms because they want to defend the indefendable. And those people who are defending indefendable are the ones inflicting pains on who mandated them, who mandated these people to carry guns, who gave them the right to represent who. We should not forget, Ambazonians are not Anglophones. Let me say, because people are saying that Ambazonians are Anglophones. No, Anglophones have representatives, but Ambazonians do not have representatives. If they are, how did they become the representative of the people they call Ambazonia? I don't know. If somebody can help me. We only saw people with guns. We only saw people carrying guns. And that is why it is still aching. I know that when we are talking on media, a lot of the families who are bereaved will be feeling bad. But we want to encourage them. And we are feeling the whole Cameroon is bleeding. The whole Cameroon is bleeding. And this is because we have taken the narrative of lose democracy. We have taken the narrative of lose democracy because everybody thinks that what I think or what I say must stand, and that is why we are seeing this type of thing. People stand, get guns, and they are doing in the name of we have the right, the freedom to do what we want, or we have the right to declare whatever we want. We have the right to belong to wherever we want, and we forget that democracy is the rule of law, and the rule of law is the respect for institutions. Cameroon is a sovereign nation, and there is no way you pick up arms declaring part of the sovereign state to be your own, and that shall be left for you to. No, it is not done. It is not done on earth. It has never been done like that. So I don't know. It's really unfortunate. We are seeking for peace, and at the same time, when the head of state calls for peace, people go out and demonstrate ill intentions that they are not going to cooperate. with the head of state to have peace. Amber strives on violence, fear, intolerance, and dialogue cannot be part of it. We feel bad that the efforts of the head of state, he said it times without number. This country belongs to all of us. Nobody is above the country. Even he himself is not above the country. And why have we decided to be killing unmercifully? Life has become something not worthy living. Every day in Bamenda Day, every day either in the northwest or southwest, we must hear that one person died. It is either an innocent civilian, the people carrying guns, or a military man. What have they done? Nobody deserves to die. That is what we are saying. That nobody. Cameroonians should understand that the gun does not solve a problem. After everything, the gun does not solve a problem. Yes, let's allow the gun diplomacy aside, but talk to your brother. And that is why the head of state is saying it. He has said it. Dialogue. We keep on telling all those who are there in the bush, drop your guns, come for DDR centers. Come to the DDR centers and you shall be pardoned. And if you want to take, the narrative is that they were going for revenge. You go for revenge. When the Cameroonian authorities get hold of these boys holding guns, they take them to the DDR center. But when the boys get hold of either the military or a civilian, their own DDR center is a grave. Where have we kept the humanity in us? So the grave now is a retribution justice delivered by the so-called Amber boys to us. To the same people they said they wanted to protect. I remember some time ago, the common people used to say that, let me say the people down there, you say, okay, our boys. We said it, that this thing you are calling your boys, how did they become your boys? It's going to affect us, and it is affected. There is no family in the north and south that hasn't been affected by this conflict. And who are the causes? We are the very people, because we know our families, the various families know those children, those of their children who are not home and who are not in schools, who are not in other towns, but they are in the bushes carrying guns, but they cannot denounce them. What should we do? And we sit and we blame people in Yaoundé. We should not cajole crime. We should not cajole terrorism. Even the international community has already recognized that these boys are terrorists and those supporting them are terrorists. And that is why many of them are being prosecuted in the USA, in Norway, everywhere. So the international community has already, and when we see the international community has already prosecuted many of them, we still go ahead to say they need dialogue. Do you mean the head of state, Cameroonian institutions, should go and dialogue with terrorists? Dialoguing with terrorists is normalizing terrorism, and it's not done. I think Cameroonians should actually look at each other in the eye. Yes, we accept there is bad governance, and we are improving. Everything. Cameroon is facing a lot of problems in many areas. But should we result in killing because we want to remove somebody from power or want this particular person not to rule? And the worst thing I keep on saying is, we are the ones killing ourselves, because those boys did not leave Beitoa to come and do the assassination. There are people within the zone. Those boys did not leave Kolofata to come and assassinate people. They are living within the zone. Those are people, sons of the soil. Those sons of the soil. So what is the crime in going down, allowing people to live in a society, in an environment they cherish? Why should we life is the only thing irreplaceable, and why have they made it a duty to be squeezing life out of people, deliberately, intentionally, and voluntarily?
Okay, we're coming back to you. Let's come to you. The issue about the killing in Gidado. We've had a lot of people trying to give excuses that, it's because of this, it's because the government have not resolved it, no, it's because BIA has not done this. What is your take on that? On the killing of Gidado, when you learnt of it?
Thank you very much, Mr. Jarvis. As I've been a youth parliamentarian, I'm a political analyst, and as an analyst, we analyze things the way they are, without putting emotion, being realistic. So my point of view concerning that, it is, I don't even know how I can start, because it's very, very painful to see that most of those that were assassinated were children of 2 years. That is a high rate of inhumanity. That is man inhumanity to man, because I will not understand how a normal human being with feelings would, let's assume the person is a father, will go and murder another person's child or son or daughter whatsoever for which crime? They should even say yes, maybe there was a setup and so on. What's the crime of the baby? Were the children the one that set up what happened?
Or the women.
Or the women, or the elderly, because I saw elders of 60 years and above. It's very, very pathetic. There's no justifiable reasons whatsoever to say that what they did was right. It is very, very wrong, because there's nothing as priceless as human life. If we can go to the extent of taking human life to the extent of minor, it's a high crime against humanity, and there's no justifiable reason for that. It's very, very bad, Mr. Jarvis, and we need to condemn that with the, with the how something will go so jail, because it's very, very terrible. I won't lie to you.
Yeah, because today we are hearing people are saying that no, the reason for that is that the government has not resolved the conflict because they had 10 of their fighters killed, and that people should not mingle in the affairs of separatists and the military. That this and the. But how did we get to this level where we are justifying that kind of murder?
It's not something that should even be justifiable, because even if there was a setup where the children are more, where the elderly one are more, we need to be realistic to our own self. If somebody does something to you, you go towards the person. You don't pass through another person to get to the person. It's very, very wrong. If I have an issue here with my brother, Honorable Yai, I will go to him face to face and tell him that, bro, what you did was wrong. I will not go and attack his son, his daughter, or even the family member, even the parent. It is very, very wrong. We really condemn that, Mr. Jarvis. Truth be told, it's very, very bad. It's very, very bad, because there's no point that can prove that what they did is justifiable. I condemn that.
Now, let's stay within this kidado. That the governor was on the field, and there are people now who are saying that we should also blame the military, because the military has also been carrying out other crimes. Some people are saying that we are now focusing on condemning this one. What of the other crimes that the military has been committing in recent times? But how do we judge this kind of balance? Well, an incident occurred, you are telling people that no, they should also go and be looking at the other things that the military has been doing. How do we get to this level?
Mr. Jarvis, sincerely speaking, I don't even know when we got to this place, because how will the crime of another person be a reason to justify the crime of another person? In our daily saying, there's a saying that 2 wrongs cannot make a right. If this person did wrong, we are not supposed to equally do wrong because that person did wrong, because the 2 wrongs cannot make a right. It is, I don't really know, because what has happened, like, truth be told, it's not something to even somebody that has sentiment, that has emotions, can stand up and justify and say that no, they were right because they did. No, it's not done that way. It's not done that way, because there's no justifiable reason why children will be slaughtered to that extent. Can you imagine, you here, Mr. Jarvis, you're a father, you are at work, you go back home, you cannot meet your child. The whole family has been ravaged. And somebody will come and stand up there and say that it's because of this, that this person did that, this person has done this. Well, that's crazy, it's madness, because it is not justifiable at all. If it was your own child, will you go and say that this person did this because of this person? No. Even the Bible says that we reap what we sow. Somebody can also come and you go and reap plantain. It's not possible. If I tell you come to me, don't pass to another person. It's very, very wrong.
Okay, Emmanuel.
Yes.
Some people are saying that you know, that you are condemning this one now because it is amber. What of the other things that the military have been doing? So should we go back and be counting the other things, or should we not condemn what happens now?
Those who are saying so, they are short-sighted. When the military, the Ngabo incident happened, we actually condemned. And I tell you what, those who participated in the action, we are told it wasn't voluntary, but they have gone in for it. They have punished them. And within the Cameroon military, I'm not a military personnel, but I must tell you that when you commit a crime, when you as a military personnel, when you commit a crime, you're being punished for it. There's punishment served to you. And that is why if you go to the military cell, you will see military personnel serving jail terms. That is a fact, and we shouldn't argue about that. Now, when you think that you have to do this because the military has done this, it is wrong. Possibly we should be situating ourselves, what is the role of the military in the country, and what were they doing before casualties were occurred. The military is out. The military on the universe, on the whole universe, is to guide and protect, protect properties and life. And in the course of their actions, casualty can be whole. And that is why we have seen it in carrying out their duties. Some of these people who are carrying illegal guns, what do they do? Something, I've forgotten the name of the place where a particular house was ravaged by the military because they entered the house and left the guns in the house and ran away. Those who they were chasing them, they entered the house, left the guns in the house and ran away. How would the military know that they were the one, that the house is not an accommodative hideout for them?
That is, the military was chasing them.
They said they chased them from another angle, from another situation. Then when they came, they were searching the house around. There was information. They were searching the house. When they entered the house, the people in the house were in nonsense because they just entered the house. All of them ran away. They entered, they kept the guns there and ran away because they are doing these guerrilla tactics. They go, they entered, they come, and in town they are there. After a moment, they disappear into the bushes with guns. They keep their guns, come back, and we don't know. That is what's happening. And at the same time, when they suspect people, I don't master military techniques very well, but those are some of the instances we face when you read, when you start to know about these things of military, how they do operate and how casualties occur. You will see that many of these people, the military people, they don't actually perpetrate these actions intentionally, but in the pursuit of executing their duties, all of these things happen. We do condemn because we have always advocated for enough investigation before any other thing is done. But when it happens,
but you also not take away the fact that there have been some of the recalcitrant actions carried out by some of these
and that is why that's why we are not discounting, we are not refusing, and that's why they are being punished for it. Now, who will punish those those people who are actually killing, who killed in Ngabo? Who will punish them?
Because there have been credible reports of people being killed, molested, arrested.
I am saying that even the minister.
We cannot just.
I did not conclude. I'm saying the Ministry of Defense. The Minister of Defense had made it clear, those who commit, any military personnel who commits an atrocity, investigation is going to be carried, and he's going to pay him for it. Even the Delegate General of National Security, he has made it clear, when you act out of proportion, you are going to go in for it. And that is why we keep on telling. There's something we talk without solution, but I keep on saying it. Let's look at it now. There is no justification that because somebody died, somebody must die. There is no justification because somebody got wounded, another person should be wounded. We don't have it, and we are calling on these people. Please, let us make this thing clear so that it is a solution. The head of state has asked us to dialogue, and there's another part of the dialogue that we are ignoring. We are asking those in prison to call their voices to drop the guns.
Yeah, but when you made a statement earlier that the government cannot discuss or negotiate with terrorists.
Yes.
But there are some people who also will say that among these guys fighting,
yes,
there are some people who probably are not carrying out such a Gidado kind of mindset. Now, if we say the government cannot discuss with terrorists, how will this conflict in the northwest and southwest come to an end? If the government cannot discuss with those with arms.
The government, the problem of the north and south, let's go back to history. let's go back to a brief history. The immediate start of this thing is teachers marching and lawyers marching. Are we clear on that? Now, after that, in a demonstration, people took to the street. The military, in trying to contain the demonstration, which is the normal. I did not say the military, in trying to contain, understand my context, to contain the demonstrators, resulted to the loss of life. All right. Now, when that happened, a group of persons, misguided, went to the bush and created guns.
When you say misguided,
I mean misguided. I mean,
let's go. I'm coming.
Yes.
Let's go gradually to where the peak of this conflict erupted.
Yes.
We have early 2016.
Yes.
Teachers and lawyers of the Northwest and the Southwest were protesting.
Yes.
About the issue of common law.
Exactly.
There was a protest in Bamenda and there was a protest in Boya. The one in Boya, the lawyers were brutalized in Munya. They were by police officers. Their wig were seized and taken to the divisional officer of Boya, and some of them were heavily brutalized.
Yes.
And teachers, in solidarity, also called for a strike action.
Yeah.
Around the 18th of December, noting that noting that they want also a restructure of the Anglo-Saxon system of education.
Yes.
Now, just when the teachers and lawyers were trying to see a way out, the lawyers were brutalized in Munya. And also in Bamenda, you also had a similar issue that happened, which brought in Barrister Bobga Harmony, at the time was the president of Northwest Lawyers Association or something like that. Fast forward, the government called for ministerial committee dialogue.
Yes.
One in Bamenda, headed by Gogo Paul,
yes,
under the Prime Minister of the Republic, and one in Yaoundé, which was to handle the lawyers' grievances that was called by Laurent Eso. In this dialogue, as dialogue was ongoing in Bamenda, on a certain evening, protesters stormed the street, stating that the negotiators were being forced to sign, and that witnessed the arrival at upstation from the late chairman John Frundi, also witnessed the arrival of late barrister Bernard Muna, who all went to upstation to see the situation. Fast forward, we had the first ghost town on the 9th of January,
yes,
2017.
2017, yes.
Then, fast forward again, the consortium was banned.
Yes.
And also September 22, that was where thousands of the Northwest and the Southwest region moved to the streets.
Yeah, well.
Fast forward, some people were killed in Boya.
That's why I said,
which was supposed to be peaceful, the people were killed in Boya.
And that's why I said the government, in trying to contain the protest, which means that the government in trying to the security forces personnel went astray because the protesters became too violent, and the government in trying to contain it led to loss of life.
Okay, now fast forward again, 1st of October 2017. That was when another protest was called. We started receiving messages that dear parents, their children should not go out. Dear parents, to guide their children at home. I don't know whether you received that.
Everybody received SMS.
Yeah, received those
messages.
Dear parents. Now, fast forward. In that 2018 October, that was when all hell
got loose,
because a lot of people were killed in the Northwest, and that experienced the armed conflict. That was the peak of the armed conflict.
Yes. When things were not handled the way it was supposed to be handled.
That was when the peak of the conflict. Now, when you say people were fully misguided, what do you mean?
And I want to say it clean. I'm not going to mix up my words. When I say people were misguided, I mean that there's an idea of the teachers and lawyers. They had a problem, and why I say misguided, because it is not the teachers and the lawyers who went to the bush to carry guns. The teachers, their problem partly solved. Lawyers partly solved. The teachers are back in classrooms. The lawyers are back in their chambers. So who are these people carrying guns? Where did they table their complaint and it wasn't solved? Where did they table their complaint and it wasn't worked upon to be given a wrong answer? These people carrying guns. That is where we are. We are suffering the effect because we are romancing an issue. Cameroon has a problem. We know. And we are trying. It is not. We have learned in other things from other places. The development of democracy, the development of advancement of democracy.
When you say where did these people table their complaint?
You started my question halfway. Where did the people carrying guns table their complaint?
Yes, that's what I'm saying now.
Yes.
Where did the people
carrying guns
table their complaint?
Yes.
Their argument that the consortium that was leading the people was disbanded.
The consortium.
Now, let me. I will answer. I'm building in my question.
Yes.
Was disbanded? In fact, it was
banned.
It was banned.
Yes.
Now you move to a certain level where the people say that okay, they have called for national. They called for a dialogue.
2019.
Yes, that they expected a dialogue, but that those who were called for the dialogue were not agitators or were not key actors on the field. And at the time the consortium has been banned, who would discuss with the government? At the time you have had the Naira 10 also have been arrested from Nigeria before the conflict moved to an armed conflict. So who was to discuss with the government? The people who were to discuss with the government, they said they were already in the prison. The land, so that I get to him.
Okay. In that particular area, I want to ask you a question. Who among the Anglophone representative wasn't invited for the national dialogue? Because it is an issue concerning Anglophone, not Amazonian. It is an issue concerning Anglophone and not those carrying guns who have separated, who have already declared an imaginary state republic in another sovereign territory. Is that what we are saying? That is where we have a problem. We should learn to. I know that people have taken to a lot of rhetoric saying that the history of yesterday is becoming a wrong one today. The true history of yesterday is becoming a wrong one today.
Coming back to you.
Thank you.
You wanted to react because he was saying that the government shouldn't discuss with terrorists.
Yeah.
And he was saying that where did these people carrying gun table their complaint that it was not solved? How do we get here?
The point is, in conflict management and conflict resolution, everybody is being brought to the table. Even in the international scene, we see how people like Trump give ultimatum to this, that you have to do this for peace to reign. If not, this is going to happen. I don't think, my brother, is normal for you to say they don't have to call people to the table to discuss. When someone is expressing his or her grievances, the person may take their own measures.
Yes.
As there's a saying in African proverbs, when you beat the child, you bring the child closer, you don't send the child outside. A child can be pushed to the wall to do what is wrong. You as a parent, which is the state, you are not supposed to chase the child away because the child did wrong. Why correcting the child, you bring the child closer and say, my son, this is the situation we have on ground. What is your own take on this? What do you think is going to make us be as one again? You must not grant the desire of the son, but you make something that will be affordable, will be acceptable to the son for people to live again in harmony. So when you say no, they don't want to call people on the table, that opinion is wrong as a political analyst, because when anything that is political, everybody is called upon of different opinions. We see during election, when we're doing campaign, they will not say because you have this party, you are banned from doing campaign.
No.
Though we know how things happen in the background, but truth be told, those of different opinions came together and said, okay, we are contending for a post. Why you are campaigning for this, your man? You are campaigning for this, your man. The day of election, now everybody of different opinion come together to decide. It's the same thing. In conflict management and conflict resolution, we bring everybody to the table. You come and say, okay, I am this because of this. This is what I want. This person says, I am this because of this. This is what I want. Now a third party, which is not a mediator, who is neutral in mediation, will now say, okay, this is a situation on ground. You want this and you want this. You, they cannot give you this completely. You, they cannot give you this completely. Now they look for a harmonized situation and bring the two ideas together and break it down to one is suitable. Like many people were talking of federation that is suitable and so on. You get the point. So during negotiation, you bring everyone's opinion, because no opinion is bad until when it is listened and digested upon. That's why we have experts in every field. In Constitutional Council, we have experts. In law, we have legal experts. In politics, as a political side, we have political experts and so on. In dialogue, everybody's included. So that's what I had to say.
Please let me say something. dialogue is between political actors, right? Yes, we don't have any problem with dialogue, but we have the problem of who to dialogue with who. Are you people telling me that the state of Povia should call these people kidnappers, killers of Gidado, to come and dialogue with them?
Mr. Jav, Mr.
Let me ask you. You come in, please. In this context.
And what should they dialogue on?
In this context.
Yes.
How will you want this conflict to come to an end?
Good. That's what we are saying. The first principle, the first thing we have known, those who are carrying gun illegally should drop it. Because now, when you drop the gun, why are they dropping it? Let me give you a reason why I'm saying so. When you drop the gun, the people will live in peace. And their grievances, the government, if it's a message you were supposed to send, the government will listen. There's no problem. I've not seen a problem in Cameroon solved through the gun. And those who are carrying gun legally, if it was under an Anglophone community carrying guns, that would be solved. But now, those who are, because we have, those people who are carrying guns are not the representative of the people. That's the first part of it. The second part of it, and we have always said it, the government of Cameroon has a lot to work upon. The government of Cameroon is there, those in power, they are there not for themselves but for the people. They are there not for themselves, for the people, which means that they have to listen to the people. So
you are now saying that the government
I'm saying that government has failed. I'm saying that if the state, let me say, if centralization didn't work well and decentralization is not working well according to the people, let the government try, like my brother said, let the government try to listen to the wishes and demands of the people. When they listen, they take into consideration. But we are at a moment where effective decentralization is being implemented gradually. So we shouldn't be judging to stop from one thing and catching another. Let's go gradually.
Answer my question.
Yes.
How will you resolve this conflict practically? You said the first step, the people carrying guns illegally
should drop their gun.
Now, you said also yes that they are terrorists. How should they drop their guns?
And that is already the solution was already there. To drop your gun is simple. Just take your gun to the nearest administrative unit or to the nearest military camp, to the nearest police station, to the nearest gendarmerie post, or to the nearest anybody, even to the palace. You just take your gun to the palace. That okay, we have seen people doing that. It is not something new. We have seen a lot of conscientious brothers and sisters who have seen that the life in the bush is not. We shouldn't go back to the state of nature where life was survival of the fittest, like we are doing in the northern and southern region. No, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't go back to issues that are going to take us losing our lives every day. And I said the first problem now, the first thing, let them drop their weapons. Secondly, when they drop their weapons, you move to the DDR centers. You move there, it is a rehabilitation center where they are going, you have psychologists and you are going to learn a trade. That's just one of the minor part of it. Another point to raise, another way that to solve the crisis is for us, if we think that we already have a problem, is for the Anglophone to actually let them be in unison to say, okay, this is the problem that like teachers say, like teachers came up, the teachers of Cameroon, Northwest teachers and Southwest teachers, Anglophone lawyers, they brought up and they tabled a complaint. One of the complaints was the OHADA law, the OHADA Uniform Act. I think part of the problems are being solved. And if we are advocating for, if the Anglophone community is advocating for federation, it is time they should not advocate for federation with a gun because it is a manipulation of principles. Let them actually bring up something. We can write and put it.
Back to you. Let me just do a follow-up.
Yes.
You wanted to react?
Yes, my fellow panelists here said that those who started misbehaving did not table their grievances anywhere. I believe
those who carry guns.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay,
yes. Those are carrying guns.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But I in another context, I believe most of this situation degenerated because there was massive arrests, especially the youth. We had complaints from Bamenda, University of Bamenda, Bambili, and so on. People were rampantly arrested for no crime committed, with or without identification number. You were being taken and locked up. So situations like that degenerated, and that's why during that period there was a massive outflow of people. People were running from northwest and southwest to Suza, to Makelene, to places where they become Douala and Yaoundé and so on.
Exactly.
Yes, because it was not tackled the way it was supposed to be tackled. You bear with me, Mr. Ayai, that flogging lawyers and teachers, they were being molested on street was not appropriate.
No, we do not appreciate that.
That is the point.
Yes.
So the truth is we have to be truthful to ourselves.
Those are the push factors. Those are the push factors which you are refusing to see in reality.
Yes, because a child like
the boss did not just appear.
Appeared. That's the point. That's the point. People were pushed to the wall, and in order to express their grievances, they took other wrong means, which landed us to where we are today. We are not defending any cause. We are just advocating for peace. That we want to call a spade, we call a spade, and said this territory degenerated because it was poorly managed. It's the same thing. When you do something wrong, you take the blames. For example, in court, when you are accused and you are guilty, you are being locked up because you are guilty. Why then should it come now that because of your issue that you flog people up and down, people reacted other ways? You refuse to say, no, it's not my fault. It's the people's fault that they reacted. So they were not supposed to react. What's then our freedom of reaction?
We are not saying that the people were not supposed to react.
Yeah,
we are simply saying that they were not supposed to carry guns.
I understand you.
Against the fatherland.
Yeah, that is true. And that I'm saying, I'm discussing from another context,
yes,
not in alignment to what you're saying to say. There is no justifiable reason to carry gun and shoot fellow citizens. Because if they take the very gun and shoot you, I don't think you'll be happy. And we are not in the period of the Adowa war where people had other stuff that could sustain them from bulletproofs and so on. So truth be told, when something was done and it led to another thing, let's assume the fact that something happened. We should not just treat it towards one direction and forget that something happened. Like they always say, there's no smoke without fire. You cannot just sit here and fire start coming up whereas the current has not sparked somewhere or they have not lighted fire somewhere. So Mr. Jarvis, that's what I wanted to intervene and say.
Okay, this one is good afternoon, Jarvis. Why can Anglophones not speak with one voice? This crisis is where we are now because the way some of them are talking. Mr. Vital is writing from Bamenda. Edad from the other right, he says, good day to you all in the house. I am Elad Divine, following from Limbe. Please, Mr. Chavez, concerning what happened in the locality of Gidado is not a good one. We condemn it with all strong terms, but it's not the reason that a panelist will be talking there that the government cannot discuss with terrorists. Who is he calling terrorists here? Does he mean Soseko and Co are terrorists? When people want to come on air and talk, they should not be emitting out things that dash people again. This was, it says, what we need in this country is just one thing, and it is not to be and done. That it has not to be done. That is why it has not been done, and that's why this wahala keep happening until things are done. Let's be ready to see these things moving left and right. There's Ella writing from Libya. This one is Happy Sunday. What happened to the killing in Gidado is very bad. It's condemnable. I used to think that the separatist movement had a plan, but until I see the Gidado massacre, the children and women killed is something that we should condemn. How on earth is that 2-year-old child connected to the conflict of the northwest and southwest region? How do you have the courage to pull a trigger to a child? You see the child in the eyes and you pull the trigger. What inhumane way of doing things? Do you mean to tell me that this act will bring us independence. I used to believe firmly in the act of self-defense, and also firmly that one day the Anglophones will have their independence. Seeing what we saw in Gidado has come to reinforce government thought that they are fighting with those who are considered terrorists. In all honesty, let me be clear that those kidnappings and those killings are not part of the Anglophone community. These are people who think they can have their independence by all means, but independence of killing women and children. Mr. Jarvis, I watched a very old, elderly old woman among those killed. What was her crime? A man in his 70s killed. What was his crime? And you expect the people to support you? I'm disappointed. And all those who are sponsoring these guys, they should know that if they will not answer to God, they will answer to Allah. If they will not answer to Allah, they will answer to karma. Like what happened to those who killed the MP in Cambe. They were killed, and they are among those who were killed who killed the MP. And the people have not even condemned. The MP ransom was paid, yet they went ahead to kill the MP. This is not independent. This is madness. Madam Jane writing from Douala.
Thank you, Madam Jane.
This one says, I totally disagree with the point of view of Mr. Emmanuel when it comes to the aspect of terrorism, and also comes to the aspect of the fact that those people have not tabled their grievances. I want to ask him that, did the gun appear from the sky? Can he not remember that on September 22, people were killed with peace plants on their hands? Can he also not remember that on 1st of October 2017, people were killed with peace plants on their hands? Can he also not remember that in 11 February, people were killed and villages were burnt, and that led to what people describe as self-defense? If the government had not banned the consortium, would we have been in this position? The truth is, Amber has always been there, but the aspect is that the government gave them the opportunity on the platter of gold by arresting the consortium leaders who were moderate. You arrest the moderate, what happened to the extremists? And in the course of the major national dialogue, let Mr. Emmanuel tell us who of these separatist leaders were invited in a neutral venue. We saw invitation letters given to them, but at the same time arrest warrant was still on their head. How do you give an invitation letter to someone you have already placed an arrest warrant on, expecting that the person to come? If the government wants this conflict to come to an end, I still condemn the Gidado massacre, but if the government wants this conflict to come to an end, all those having guns, the government should declare a blank amnesty, release all those from the prison, and call for a dialogue with those having guns. You will see, Mr. Jarvis, that the violence will reduce drastically. Unfortunately, people are making money out of this. The NGOs will now go to Gidado and go and give out food, clamor for support, and call for more support to take care of those injured. Because of act like this, how will the conflict come to an end? Unfortunately, we regret the killing of Gidado, but the truth be told that this government must do more. The national dialogue has not succeeded in anything. You had some questions to you, eh?
Yes.
That did the gun just appear from the sky?
Like he said, like, who is it, he or she? The writer says
Anonymous.
Okay. I want to thank the writer for having done some great works there. Like I said, the incidents of September 2022, instead of September 22, 2017, and that of October, where people march with peace plans, I say it again. The aim of the government forces wasn't to go and shoot people. It was an attempt to contain, that is what I keep saying, to contain the strike, the peaceful march past that we were doing. We all were doing. But then at the same time, we found ourselves on a radical way. And the government, in its own policy, in its own method that I don't know very well, okay, decided to, in trying to contain, and we had some casualties. But we had those casualties, and that did not give us the go-ahead to go on as Anglophone and pick guns against our own selves. The guns that have floating all over the northwest and southwest. They are against us. Are they against any other person? They are against us. We are the victims of those guns. How did they get the guns? Everything is being put to question, and that's why we keep on saying we are not romancing the bad attitude of the military officers or some who go wayward. But what we are saying is this: the Gidado killing is actually uncalled for, and we are praying and wishing that it should not happen again, because we have lost almost everything. We, the Anglophones, have lost almost everything. How do we speak with one voice when others are carrying guns, and those who are carrying guns are not representing us, the common people?
Now, you say yes, of course, they may not be representing us.
They're not representing us, the common people.
Yes, but the issue is some other people feel like the core of the crisis has not been resolved.
And what?
Because they feel like, okay, if they are not representing us, those who are representing us, what have been done so far in terms of what need to de-escalate the conflict? They talked about the special status. They talked about the fact that the implementation of the special status is snail pace. They also talk about the fact that the amnesty was supposed to be granted to those who had not carried guns. For example, Mancho BBC had not carried guns.
Yes.
For example, Siseko Ayuktabe. Now many are asking that, okay, if you can forgive, you are saying that people should drop their gun and enter GZR. If you can forgive somebody who has committed that crime, let's just say, for example, those who carried out the incident in Gidado now comes and says that, oh, we are sorry, we did that, we are dropping our arms. Where will they go to? GZR Center also?
Exactly.
After GZR Center, they will be released to the community also.
Yes.
Now the question is, what happened now to those who did not carry guns?
They are leaders.
No,
the innocent people in prison.
They are innocent.
No, okay,
there are people who I'm talking about people who did not carry guns.
Yes.
Who are in prison.
Yes.
Like Siseko Ayoktabe and Co. who are in prison because Ayoktabe and Co. were arrested before the armed conflict. Mancho BBC and Co. were arrested before the conflict. So if you can forgive these ones who are still on the ground
Has killed a lot.
and are still killing, why can't you just release those and dialogue with them for them now to come and see how they can discuss with the people?
Yes. I am not a government spokesperson.
Can you separate the gun, the engine of the gun, from the common Anglophone cause?
Yes. I have already separated it, and I'm not a government spokesperson to say that this is what the government can do. Yes. But for my analysis, that's what I'm saying, and my analysis are this: if those people, for example, there's no way you can separate the Naira 10 people from these people carrying gun, because they are the commanders. And Ayuktabe was the president of the Ambazonia, and Ambazonia and those people are carrying guns.
No, when you say they are the commanders, they
were the president of the people carrying guns.
No, you can actually bring a lawsuit on yourself, because you cannot conclude that they are the commanders, because Ayuktabe, the Supreme Court said he was not arrested with any weapon. Besides, Ayuktabe and Co had been arrested before the guns even entered. How will you say that they are easy commanding from prison?
All right. Okay, so
Mancho BBC.
And all of those things.
And a lot of them.
Their main question was, how can they grant amnesty to those people and leave other ones? To be frank, all of them, everybody, the leaders, I don't think that the leaders of Cameroon, they are irrational. They are insensitive to what is happening, because amnesty can be granted if those people drop their weapons and enter the street, go to the DDR, and they reintegrate the society as normal people, citizens. That should be a pull factor, that those people who are in prison should even push them, because they were arrested maybe in connections to those type of things. It was in connection to the crisis, many of them. And when you talk about Mancho BBC, I always want to think that he can answer for himself, because I did not follow his lawsuit.
No, we're not saying that answer for himself.
Yes,
we're just saying that if you can say the ones who are carrying gun now, now you can say we are seeing it.
We are saying it.
That we are seeing it, that those who carry gun now, who surrender to the drop their guns, are taken to the DDR center, not to prison.
Yes.
Where they have a certain kind of liberty and are being monitored and de-escalated, and they are psychologically being retransformed, and after a while sent back to the community. Wouldn't it also be nice that if you can do that for someone who is carrying, because as we are talking, atrocities are still ongoing.
Atrocities are going on.
Would it also be nice that you say, okay, all those of you arrested in the connection of the conflict before the guns entered, we will also grant you amnesty so that we can all sit as a people and discuss? Would it be a bad idea if the government asks all those carrying guns for a dialogue?
We saw that before. I don't know if it was before the major national dialogue or after the national, that a lot of people were being released. I think so. We saw that.
Yeah, Barrister Agbo Balankongo Felix,
yeah,
Achachilaros and Co were released.
Good.
Were released.
The charges against them were dropped.
Yeah, were dropped.
Good.
But the question is, if you these guys had nothing to do with the armed conflict itself. These guys were arrested in connection to the Anglophone Consortium that was banned.
Yes.
These are the members of the consortium. You are now looking at those who were arrested in connection that they had a relationship with Amber, or they had an ideological view with Amber. Now they are in prison for more than 5 years now. More than 9 years, because the conflict, we're talking about more than 9 years. Isn't it fair that if you are calling a man in Dogamantu to drop the arms, right, the man who probably, as we are talking, may have kidnapped some person already, to drop the arms, that if you drop the arms, you will not be arrested, you will be sent to the TDR center. The man who was arrested before the armed conflict, has he not gone to a lot of this escalation already in prison that you say, okay, let's grant general amnesty?
It is possible that that can happen. It is very possible. But now, it is difficult to for the people, for us, maybe we the panelists, to have determined that these particular persons have done through a lot of psychological training to know that, okay, they have separated themselves. But yet, I want to think that, I want to be a positivist, to think that the government, and like the President of the Republic made in his speech, he made it during his inauguration and on the 31st of December. He made it clear that dialogue should continue at all levels. And we think that the dialogue he is talking about even asks community leaders to continue dialoguing with everybody, and so that we can bring a lasting solution to this thing. I think that in that case,
anyway, let's go this advert.
Change. Leader in money transfers within Cameroon for more than 15 years via my international partners MoneyGram, Western Union, Ria Transfer, World Remit, and others. You can send and receive money all over the world. I assist you in all your mobile money transactions and buying of communication credit. You're always welcome to my 300 branches for payment of your ENEO, electricity bills, and your university tuition fees, the payment of school fees and competitive examination fees for high schools and college via the Campus Money platform. Because your satisfaction is my priority, I assure you an ever-increasing and improved quality service, payments, availability of cash for your transactions. Express Exchange, the #1 in quality service in Cameroon.
You're welcome back. I'll start with you, continue with you. How should this conflict be resolved?
As a political scientist that I am, I think the issue should start from the foundation. You know, when everything I want to do in that will start from the root, from the foundation. The government should go deep into the root causes of the crisis and see what they can do, because only the state has the legitimacy and the monopoly to do whatever they want to do at will. If that us as a citizen, we had the means to pull up with our own strength and might that we have to solve the issue, we could have. But the monopoly is in the hands of the state, and it can only be done by looking deep into the root causes of this crisis and addressing it from the root causes, because you cannot solve something at the shadow level. You must dig down and see what really caused this. Like joke, it started with teachers striking, lawyers striking, students striking. After that, the situation became what we are facing today. And if we don't go back to that point where it started by seeing deeply into teachers' affairs, lawyers' affairs, student affairs, and what the marginalization and so on, I don't think we can do better than doing so. Because we must start from square zero to see deeply into the matter. Because I cannot be asking for Kumba bread, and you give me this, how do they call this thing, chaffs of the Kumba bread. No, I don't think it will be that satisfactory. But if I ask for Kumba bread and you give me something that can at least satisfy my stomach, it's going to do a lot. We see teachers are still threatening to strike, if I'm not wrong. Some teachers are saying that their pension, their arrears, and so on and so forth. So we have to really see deep into it, and it is only the government that has that momentum. We cannot say anything, we cannot do anything. We cannot do any go ahead without the powers that be seeing into it rootedly. Thank you, Mr. Yami.
Now, what would be your advice as far as a political analyst, the getting those who have the guns is concerned to de-escalate the situation? What will be your advice to the government? Because some people are saying that, oh, the government should not discuss the terrorists. Oh, the government cannot discuss. The question is, who are the terrorists? Who are not terrorists? Who are terrorists? Who are not terrorists? We saw how Donald Trump, in his mandate, invited the Taliban, the head of Taliban, inside the United States. They flew him to the United States and they had a meeting in the Joint Military Air Force Base. And they discussed. And we also saw the current leader of Syria. He was a terrorist, an ISIS terrorist, which he had a $10,000 bounty on his head for him to be arrested by America. We saw how at the end of the day they discussed with him. We also have seen where we have had other persons who were considered terrorists, like Nelson Madiba Mandela, who at the time had been declared terrorists. We also have Ernest Wanji. Yes. At one point in time, been described as a terrorist. Dr. Felix Rolamumi have been described as terrorist, and there was negotiation. We also have you have Ernest Wanji. You have Robert Omniobel. Omniobel was at one point referred to as terrorist. At the end of the day, we still see that there was discussion at the end of the day. So, as a political analyst, how can we get those from the guns to drop it?
I think, like you have cited here, Donald Trump flew the Taliban leader to the U.S. to have a peace talk with them. And there's a level of decentralization in our country where those who are at the peripheries can have a tete-a-tete, like with those that are involved, and discuss with them. It does not mean that they have to, be exchanges of weapons, shooting and killing and so on. Just you can do like in those days in the village, when the chiefs want to announce something, he send them in Chinda with a xylophone moving around with the gong, moving around, announcing that my people, as people can see, a lot is already happening in our village. What we have to do now is that let us put our head together. Let us forgive each other and come together and see how we can better our country. A lot of destruction has gone on, and a lot is still ongoing. Like this one, we're not expecting something like the Jigdado massacre. And if care is not taken, that's how it's going to continue. Because the truth is, Mr. Jarvis, forgiveness in this country will be as difficult as a camel passing through the needle. Because grievances is at the extreme. If you go now to the heart of the parent of those children, they have excess bitterness in them that you cannot quench it within an hour, within a day, within a month. Because that pain, that sorrow that will be ringing on the child, on the father's head, on the mother's head. Like you have your 2-year-old child, when you want to come back and say, Daddy, Daddy, you get up one morning, you will not see your child, your house is not there, nothing. I don't think it will take you years, even to the grave, you will never forget. So what we have to do is, it is not time for us to be apportioning blames, saying that no, I cannot negotiate with this man because it's this. No, it's not like that. Like I earlier said, in conflict management, we negotiate with everybody. We call you, we announce and say this is the situation, please, we are tired of dying, we are tired of being jeopardized here and there. Let's come together and help each other, because you stopping to kill another person will equally help another person from being killed. You are helping me, I am helping you, because as you kill me today, tomorrow another person will kill you. As they kill, another person will kill, and it's not going to end, because the killing will continue. So what we have to do is, let's be truthful to ourselves, come together, accept our wrongs, make amends, and peace shall flow in our nation. All we want is peace. And there's no peace without negotiation. Even before the aggression of Germany, they used the policy of appeasement. Yes. There is nothing without appeasement, even in relationship, in marriage. At times, you say sorry not because you are wrong, but because you want peace to reign. As a father of the house, the state is the father of the house. You call your child and say, my son, I'm sorry for hurting you. Please, let's come back together as one family. It does not mean that you, the father, you are wrong. Exactly. Or the child is right. No. As a father, is somebody has that maturity, that sense of responsibility, and that mandate to carry that burden of fatherhood. You now draw your son closer and say, my son, it's true you have killed. It's true you have committed atrocity. It's true you still have plans to do more. But please, for my sake, as your father, let's come together and unite. Let's join our head together and build our nation. That's what we can do. Thank you, Mr. Jarvis.
Thank you very much. Let me get on this message for going to Mr. Emmanuel. This one says, Mr. Jarvis, to end the conflict and the killings, this is what must be done. Let me start by saying that Mr. Emmanuel is just struggling to defend what he does not have any understanding to. It is because, as for the way he has been talking since the program started, he's just trying to seek for notice from the system, or maybe he's looking for his own appointment somewhere. Okay, now to end the conflict, like I said, Mr. Jarvis, this killing in the northwest and southwest region, Mr. Emmanuel and all other people supporting the wrong thing should know that as far as the Siseko and others unarmed detainees are still there in the different prisons, the crisis will never see an end, and that is how we will be witnessing what is happening day in, day out. Release all political prisoners connected to this crisis. Declare an overall general amnesty so that those who were chased out of the country should come back and sit down in a meaningful dialogue so that this country can take back its feet. Elad writing from Limbe. This other one says, to end this Anglophone crisis, what simply needs to be done is release all in connection to the conflict, including Seseko and Co. Also grant amnesty to those in abroad. Call for a general dialogue with only those who are carrying arms and those who have supported those carrying arms. Sit with them. They will give you a tangible solution on how to de-escalate and disarm those with guns without necessarily inciting or plunging the country into further violence. I believe that if Seseko Tabe and Co are released and those from abroad are given amnesty and everybody come to the table and seek reconciliation, we will have a way out that we can de-escalate the conflict and the community will grow. But unfortunately, this may not be what they will do. Good afternoon to the House of Commons, Oga Jarvis. You are making a lot of sense to my suggestion. Till all those people arrested in Nigeria, including the other arrested like Mancho BBC, are granted amnesty, and since a sincere dialogue is done, no lasting peace will be achieved. My second solution to the crisis, after the release of all political prisoners linked to the crisis, a sincere dialogue be done. Why cannot the government use the Cote d'Ivoire ways by absorbing all those guys in the bushes in the regular army and giving them that? Okay, thank you very much. This is coming from Ibazogo and Bamenda. This one says, Jarvis, to end this conflict, there's just one thing that we need to do: release all arrested and call for an amnesty to be given to those abroad. The reason why those abroad are supporting the boys is because they know that they cannot come back, and if they cannot come back, everywhere should still just be the way it is. This one reads right. He says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. I don't blame President Pobia, but I blame the Anglophones. The Anglophones have killed more Anglophones than the military have killed the Anglophones. Now, to resolve this conflict, the Anglophone elites are the ones that we need to blame. The Anglophone elites have been gallivanting around Yaoundé, telling Pobia that all is well. You did not see during the recent election. The recent election is testament that there is peace in the northwest and southwest region. The result we had this year of the election is far higher and better than the ones we had before the Anglophone crisis. So tell me, with that kind of result, if you are President Biya, will you not just be sleeping that the conflict is finished? The elites are the ones responsible for all what we are experiencing in the northern and southwest region. They know that the situation is not the way they are seen, but yet they go around doing what they are doing, supporting the regime, despite the fact that the people are being killed. You will see the elites will rush now to Gigado to go and give bags of rice, mattress, and instead of advocating that the conflict should come to an end. Those who have been killed in Gidado, my condolences. Those who carry out the attack, God will actually punish them in his own way and wisdom. I really I really feel sad and deplore that the government should do more to resolve this conflict. How should we end the conflict? You have talked about some issues, but now, what is that thing that you advise the government on?
There is something we've been clamoring for. Let the government of Cameroon, that we so much believe in, many people will say whatever they say, but we believe in because it is our government. Let the government try at all levels to improve the lives of Cameroonians, because many of these people who are down in the bushes, many of people who are quarreling, insulting everywhere, is because of lack of unemployment. It's due to high unemployment, lack of employment for the youth. I mean, the victims of this conflict, we are the victims. We, the youth, are the victims. Some of us have died. Some of us have gotten injured. Some have left and died in the Mediterranean Sea due to one of these things. And it is the conflict in Bamenda, in the Norway and Southwest, for example. You see that youth, many of them, they are people who lack jobs. Resulted in, that is why the killing, the kidnapping, and so on have gone for so long. They are actually unemployed. Secondly, the government should intensify the dialogue. At what level, no matter what it takes, it is the responsibility of the government to take care of its citizens, make sure the citizens live well, provide for the citizens, protect the citizens. If the government does this, I think within a couple of time, given the fact that those people in the bushes are going to drop their weapons, we shall get back to our normal lives in our normal communities without fear, without any alterations of whatsoever need. We know that I can live here, go to my place, come back, stay in my place, come back without any problem.
Are you satisfied with the way in which this conflict has been managed within the last 3 years?
No, not at all. We are not satisfied, and that's why we keep on advocating for the government to do more. The government we keep on advocating for them to do more. We are not satisfied. If we are satisfied, we should be satisfied when everything is normal, when people are not being killed in Gidado. Exactly. So we are not. Nobody is satisfied, but we keep on advocating, asking the government to do more, because we cannot ask any other person apart from the government. And why the government is doing more, we ourselves, we encourage ourselves that okay, we should also be part of this very government that is supposed to work for us. We should also be people. We should cooperate with the government. If in terms of any other thing, we should cooperate with the government. Everybody inclusive, because as Abraham Lincoln says, democracy is for the people, by the people, and for the people. So we have to be ourselves. We accompany the various stakeholders in everything, because everybody now, you see the victims have become 2 years, everybody, the old, the young, and so on. So it is the responsibility of every Cameroonian, and we keep on asking the government to do more to intensify on solving the problem to come to an immediate end. If not an immediate end, an imminent end. That's what we want, because Cameroonians, especially those of the North and Southwest, we are tired of dying every day. We are tired of roaming the street every day without knowing that the only thing left for us is the grave. Where is the grave? Somebody is just there knowing fully well that if you ask me something I don't give, the next thing I'm going to put you down. You're going to the grave. No, we are tired. That is not how life is supposed to be in Cameroon. And we wish that everybody, we should cooperate with the government. People who can cooperate, people are the stakeholders. We will talk about the stakeholders because we know that there are many people who have the solutions in their hand. And there's another issue. Please, we want to talk to all the collaborators of the President of the Republic. Many Cameroonians think that if people do not give him the right information, please, if you are the collaborator of the head of state, from what level, give him the right information. Give him the right information that he should know. I know the president knows. So but when people are complaining that the collaborators of the state of this are not giving him the right information, we keep on telling the collaborators, give the head of state the right information.
But is it not the head of state also responsible?
That is what I'm saying.
To have the right information. When last did he visit the 10 regions of Cameroon? When he won the last mandate in 2018. 2018, the head of state has not visited any region apart of the Garoua where he went and campaigned, and Yaoundé where he has been there. That's the only place the head of state has visited in the last 8 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So if you say people are not giving the right information, what strive are you making?
I did not say people don't give him the right information. I said many Cameroonians think that these people, his collaborators from the North, South, everywhere, that they are there. They are there. They are there. His collaborators are there. I said many people complain that the head of state is not giving.
Okay, we're out of time.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Jarvis. Always a pleasure to be here and to share out with my fellow panelists for the hearing of our audience. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. It's a pleasure, and we hope that what happened in Gidado will not happen again. This is 2026, and we want to live in peace in our various communities without disturbance, without any. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you also for watching us. I want to wish you a happy Sunday, Mr. Nyam and your wife, Joan, Mr. Nyam Robert and your wife, Joan, and also to you, Agbo Charles in Canada, all those who have been watching the program. Until we meet again, no matter the matter, what matters is your matter. What should matter is that you should stay true to your values and respect the life of humans, the sacredness of humans, for no one has a right to take the life of another. My name is Mike Jarvis. Bye-bye.